Hey, today I want to talk to you about Solarpunk. Solarpunk, yes, Solarpunk. I know you never heard of that. Solarpunk is a kind of like a genre of storytelling and images that kind of relates to steampunk, where steampunk may be a bit more darker and dystopian in the kind of images that it creates and the stories that it tells. Solarpunk kind of is like an answer to this, or response to this, more accurately, that wants to shift that narrative where the future is a lot more hopeful than the kind of stories that we tend to tell about our futures. Solarpunk deals with a more positive spin on the idea of technology and environment in the future. It's called solar punk because the idea of like solar energy, but then not only solar energy, it can also be like wind energy or any kind of naturally sourced energy that is infinite instead of like gas or any of the other um, other problematic energy sources. And it's punk because the idea of being positive about the future is like a in this day and age is like a very punk perspective, because people like to think of like in the terms of like the end of the world and like catastrophe and all that drama that's surrounding it, where Solarpunk kind of is like, you know what, I'm not gonna play that game, and like that sad game where we need to imagine for the very least like a positive future, because we're still living, and if we even can't imagine like a positive future, then what is it all good for, you know? So Solarpunk kind of like addresses that, and then a second aspect of Solarpunk also is that it deals with more like an intersectional feminist perspective, meaning that not only is it feminist in the sense that the way that gender and gender diversity is discussed is also like orientation, sexuality, and people of color, and the different ways that black women are being treated and recognized, Asian folks, and Native American, Latinx people, and it's just a more diverse space that it wants to create. And like as of now, like the main people in this space tend to be like white writers, and because of just access and all of that, even though it started like with people of color as well, like in Brazil, I believe like the first like anthology of Solarpunk stories came from Brazil, but like there's a thirst for a lot more diverse writers as well too, and creators in general to join in. And this is not a problem with like the white writers, because they are very open to it, but it's just starting up right now. So this is like my tie-in to like make myself available, like, hey, I'm here, I'm also interested in these stories and creating these stories, in telling these stories, and creating like performances that deal with or that hold space in like solar punk narrative and spaces and ideas and imageries. So my idea as of now is to in starting with this video, introducing like solarpunk content into this channel, but then also in my Instagram output. So I was planning to start like the Instagram journey like this week, and if you bother to look at my Instagram account, you'll see that there's still no picture up there, but that's about to change. And one of the things that I want to, I am currently looking at, like, the kind of specific like visual references I want to put out on my Instagram, because just me randomly posting photos of myself, I'm not necessarily comfortable with, but I am looking at like I'm very interested in like fashion and design, and the way that can play a part in like the Solarpunk stories that we tell. And I'm following these different Solarpunk accounts and seeing like those images, but the output is like very limited, and like in every, it seems like almost like once a month only, like there's not like a daily output of like Solarpunk content, at least not that I'm aware of. So if you know more, somebody who's like on it, like please put it down in the comments, because I'm very interested. I'm also going to put in the description below, it's a 2-part article about the way that Afro-futurism and Solarpunk should be combined in a way. And the article, it's a 2-part article, and the writer like basically tells the story of like the history of like Afro-futurism, and then the history of Solarpunk, and how Solarpunk misses a lot of especially black writers, but just writers of color, and how Afro-futurism kind of is, according to the writer, stuck in this also kind of a dystopian spot. And the article kind of like explains how and why these two should collaborate more, and how there should be a lot more like people writing Afropunk should be interested in writing Solarpunk and Afrofuturism. And so I really thought it was a very good read, so I'm gonna put it down below, as well as some other YouTube channels that I find interesting. Like in the last couple of months, a couple of channels dealing with Solarpunk have started to come also, I guess because of Corona, and people's internalized voices are now finally being like, you know what, I'm just gonna put it out there. And so I saw some interview channels, some podcasts and all that, and I'm gonna link to some of them down below, and I hope to like join in that space and collaborate more. So yeah, that's something to look forward to. I'm interested in like creating different contents, like photo shoots. I'm interested in creating like just images that I've had in my head. So I'm trying to I'm kind of holding myself accountable by putting it out there and telling you, whereas I'm also like putting an onus on myself to like just do it, just try it, and because I really like it. I like those images and I like those stories, and I'm very interested in being a performer in those spaces, creating series, movies, whatever, and performances that kind of hold space in a Solarpunk narrative, Solarpunk images, Solarpunk aesthetic, if you will. And even though Solarpunk is not only an aesthetic, and I guess I just want to make that clear for people, Solarpunk is not only an aesthetic, because it deals also with like an Art Nouveau kind of way of design, and also to say what I've noticed is that there's like a different kind of image that you can have of Solarpunk depending on which image you're introduced to first. There are these glass skyscraper buildings that are created with like green around them, and that are a bit more like, yeah, I guess a bit more stale, I guess, and more like sturdy and like very like hard lines, versus like a more like Art Nouveau and very cozy, cottagey, fantasy, cute, warm, and a bit more messy images and style, and I'm more attracted to the more messier and the more like just images where a lot of things are happening and where everything is not like perfectly fitted and designed, where it's like there's no mess and there's no chance, no chaos. I like the chaos bit. I like that, just the lift in feeling of it. So yeah, I'm definitely in this video is kind of like me introducing this to my channel, and then also introducing it into just the content I put out in general. So I hope you are interested. If you are an artist or a writer who's interested in solarpunk narratives, or if you're a reader or consumer that's interested in these things and you know of a couple of cool things, like please share it, and share it in the comments, and just let this be a space where we can like talk and deal with solarpunk. And so yeah, that is it for today. Yeah, I'll see you guys when I see you somewhere later this week, and yeah, ciao.